Hi, this is Greg Wadley at Salesforce.com, and I'm a platform architect. I wanted to take a moment today to introduce you to a great development environment made by a company called Appri.io. And I'm going to use this development environment to show you how easy it is to build mobile applications that run and use the Salesforce.com platform. So I've built a mobile application, and what this application does is it does a barcode scan of a barcode, then does a lookup into the product table in Salesforce, and then based on that lookup allows the user to input an order back into an order table in Salesforce. And I've done all this with actually hardly writing any line of code at all. I had to modify one JavaScript line, and the rest of it I've used building the Appri.io environment. So just to get you started, if you come up to Help and go to Start, it'll bring up the Start screen that you see here. And there's a couple of tutorials that I use to build this application. If I go to Backend Services, one of the tutorials is right here. It's on Salesforce integration. And obviously I need to be able to get to the barcode scanner. So the other tutorial I used was using the barcode scanner component. And between those tutorials, I was able to quickly and easily build this application. It's all web-based, which I really like. And so anytime you build a new project in Appri, you'll get an app settings, and you can see that it's using these external resources. So it's using standard jQuery and PhoneGap. And I need the PhoneGap because I'm going to do the barcode scan. And it always starts you with the start screen. So the start screen, it's all drag and drop, as all I did was drag some buttons over, and I have a login button, a scan button to kick off the scanner, and a product details button on my start page that'll take me to the product details page. And so the whole concept behind here is you build out your page, and you notice there's things like grid components and search and video and audio and Google Maps. It's all built in here for you. And then you tie those components back into back-end events. So in this case, my login button needs to log me into Salesforce. So I have a back-end event here that runs some JavaScript. And if I edit that, you'll notice that it just calls a JavaScript method called Salesforce login. And that JavaScript method is being provided by Appri itself. So when I created my new project, it created this set of Salesforce utils, and inside that Salesforce utils is a JavaScript method to actually allow me to log in. So my second button here is the scan button, and this scan button actually is going to go in and call a mobile barcode service. So now I'm going to introduce you to the concept of a service. So to create a service, you just come over here to the Create New, click on Service. Notice I can create REST services. I have another demo I recently built doing a REST service out to a stock quote, but in this case I wanted to do the barcode, and you'll notice this is grayed out because I've already added the barcode service. There was actually no code to do at all. It just adds that service up underneath my services, and if I double click on that, notice that there's no request. The response to the barcode is just the text itself, what format it's in, and whether it was canceled, and it's really the text that I care about. So if I go back to my start screen, we've been on the design page up to this point right here. There's also a data tab, and if I click on the data tab, you can tell, again, my request has no request parameters, but my response has the text format and cancel. And so I took the response from the barcode, and I just dropped the response onto a couple of labels, 3 labels, and that's really for debugging. What I really need is this text from the barcode scan to a local storage variable. And I'm using that local storage variable because I'm going to pass it on to my next page, which is my product detail page, and I'll show you that in a minute. So basically I'm going to do a scan, I'm going to take the result of that scan, update a local storage variable, and to do that you just say create new on a variable, and I did a local storage variable, and that's all it took to do that. And that built out my first page. Took all of maybe 5 minutes once I had looked at it once. Then my second page is product details, and so here I'm going to update the product code that I got on the barcode scan, the name of the product itself, a description of the product, and now I have an input field that I can update and then hit the order button, and I'm actually going to go do a save into Salesforce. So in order to do all of those, first I had to query Salesforce and then update Salesforce. I needed to be able to build some new services around Salesforce. So to do that, you come in and you say Salesforce service. I've already logged on to Salesforce. If you hadn't been logged on, it would ask you to log in, and then it shows you both the common objects. So for instance, I'm going to the product object, and you can see that that's already been selected, and the query method has already been selected, as well as the custom objects. And here I'm going to an object that I added called mobile order. You can see that's been selected, and I went ahead and selected all of these. The only operation I really needed was this create operation, and that's all it really takes to build the Salesforce part of that. And you can get all the details in the second tutorial that I talked about earlier. So if we look at the events for this product details page, you'll notice I have a back button, and as all that does is page navigation. Again, very, very easy to do. I have an event on load, and I can click on show all to show this. So when this page loads, it goes to the product details, and it's going to run this product query service. And then when I click the order button, it's going to call my order create service. So let's go look at those two services. First, let's look at the product query service. So the product query service needs to take the result that I stored in the first page when I did the barcode lookup and go in and do a query against the product table, and then make those variables that I get back available to the second page. So if we look at the edit mapping for this, notice that my request takes this product code, and I had to do a little bit of changing to the JavaScript here. So what I'm doing is grabbing into a temp variable, I'm grabbing the product code, and then I'm building my Salesforce SQL query here, selecting the ID, product code, name, description, and detail from the product table, where the product code equals the variable that I stashed from the first page, right? So that hopefully that makes sense. And then on the response, I want to take the barcode and the name and the description and populate the field. So when this page loads, I want to populate those three fields. So that's all it took. So all the mapping you can do within the tool itself, and you can actually add your own JavaScript if you need to. You can add your own variables, so you can do whatever you need to this page. So that's the data side of the query, and then for the order create, it's very similar. Except here, I'm going to update like my name field and my description and quantity. Those are all getting updated from the page itself. So now the lines are going in the reverse direction, and then the response will be, did I get a success or not? And so I take that success and I write that back out to the page. So to show you how this all runs, I'm going to go, Apri also gives you this nice little tester. So I'm going to go and bring up my my air server. It looks like it's timed out now, so I'll just bring that up quickly. I'm doing this on my iPhone. And now I'm going to log into the Apri tester. I didn't have to deploy any code. I didn't have to make an IPA file. It was very easy for me to do this. So I'll go ahead and load this project. This is one of the things I really like. So now I'm going to go into the login. And because I've already logged in once, it's just going to challenge me with the OAuth challenge. I'm going to say allow. And now I'm logged into Salesforce. So now I'm going to actually do the scan. So I've got a barcode here that I'm going to scan. And now you can see at the bottom, remember I captured the three variables. And the first one is the one I really care about, is the product code. And the other ones I just wrote out for testing. So if I click on the product details, it's going to actually go out to Salesforce and pull up that code, the name and description that's coming from the product table in Salesforce. And then I can go in here and say, okay, I want to order 10 Fruit Loops. Hit the order button. And my order has been successfully saved. And if I come up to the if I come back to Salesforce, you can see that here's my product table, and I've got this Fruit Loops, the large Fruit Loops, and that number right there is the product code, is going to match what we scanned. And then if I go to the mobile orders, you see that I just created a mobile order. with a quantity of 10. So I was able to save that out. So there in a few minutes I've showed you how you can use Appri.io to have a graphical design tool to quickly and easily build mobile applications. You can do those to REST services, but also what's really nice is that they have the built-in support for Salesforce, so you can do full operations into Salesforce as well.